Hi fools, Sonia here and welcome to part one of Reasons to Sell Your Shares. Now there's a lot of information available about what shares to buy and when to buy them, but one of the most difficult decisions to make when you're investing is knowing when to sell. So with me is Nate Weisshaar. He is a senior analyst with the Motley Champion Shares Pro and Share Advisor service. And Nate, you've been investing for around 10 years, is that right?
Unfortunately, that would be about correct.
Brilliant, brilliant. So we are going to pick your brains now. And are you going to share with us your criteria for deciding of which shares you're going to keep and which ones you basically turn over to the scrap heap?
Well, yeah, it's a very difficult decision for any shareholder.
Yeah.
As an investor, you need to be able to separate your emotional attachment to your investments. So one of the first ways that I make it more mechanical is when I'm investing in a share, I try to determine what I think its fair value is. And once the shares have achieved that fair value, then it's time to start considering whether or not to sell. Okay,
so I'm going to ask you a very important question that I'm sure a lot of investors want to know. How do you calculate what is a fair value?
Yes, there's no one way to value a share. Everyone is looking at a company from a different angle, and they're going to come up with different estimates of value. But one of the ones that I find as a good go-to is looking at what you think the cash flows that company is going to generate are worth.
Okay.
The purpose of companies doing business is to bring in money so that they can provide value to shareholders. So when I'm looking at a share, I look at where it sits in the market, the opportunities available to it, and how well the company is run. And I use those metrics to make some estimates about where cash flows are going to be 5 and 10 years down the road. Obviously, that's a bit of a dart throw, and that's why you get people with different estimates of fair value and why for every buyer there's a seller. So, but for me personally, my estimate of fair value is all I'm really concerned about.
Okay, your second reason for selling a share is about rebalancing your portfolio. Would you mind elaborating on that for us, please?
Well, when you're looking at your investments as a whole, the idea of a portfolio is to help diversify what risks you're exposed to. So, if you've got too much money in financials and say the banks go bust, you could be seriously hurt. Or if you're exposed to miners, if all your money is in miners and metal prices crash, your whole portfolio will be hurt. So the idea is to expose yourself to multiple different risks, and hopefully they'll balance out. But in the course of time passing, you're going to see some shares or some sectors do very well. For example, this year, Lloyd's Group is up 79%. Wow. So if someone had allocated 2% of their portfolio to Lloyd's Group, that is now a significantly larger position, and they may need to sell to take some profits and reduce that exposure again. Similarly, home builders has been a sector that has been undervalued lately and has come back in favor, and a lot of them have been doing very well. Barrett Development is almost doubled in the last year. Persimmon is up over 60%, and Taylor Wimpey is up over 50%. So if you had a collection of home builders in your portfolio, they are now significantly more valuable, and you may consider taking some profits to reduce your exposure to that sector back to where you originally wanted it to be. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about rebalancing.
Right. So rejigging your portfolio so you can maximize your gains and minimize your losses.
Yep.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Nate. That is part one of Reasons to Sell Your Shares. In part two, we've got so much more to tell you, so do come back. Thanks for watching and fool on.